What is up, you all? We're back with another Final Destination Bloodlines video. And before we get into it, definitely smash the like button because it definitely helps. And make sure you're subscribed to the channel. So we know that Final Destination Bloodlines is going to obviously be something that is connected to previous premonitions. Starting with Stephanie's grandmother, Iris, we see that she's actually having a premonition in this tower, and the tower is starting to collapse, but she ends up saving a lot of people. Now, pushing forward, I think that with this whole scene, when she ends up saving the people, maybe it can be the parents or some type of bloodline, grandparents that's connected to the previous main characters in the 5 films, being this is actually taking place in the 60s. So it's like a prequel to everything that happened in all 5 movies. So maybe it's something where actually death hasn't caught up to them yet, and we're going to see people's parents like Alex, Wendy, Nick, Sam. We know, I want to say Kimberly, one of Kimberly's parents died. Maybe it's her mom. I think that was the only person that had a parent that, you know, passed on or something like that. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think they can be something where we actually are seeing in Bloodlines. Wouldn't it be cool if we're seeing their parents get picked off one by one, or maybe they actually come and play somehow in Final Destination Bloodlines to help Stephanie? We did see that the grandmother Iris gave Stephanie like a guidelines book on how to escape death. We saw like some of the main scenes with the log bed on a truck. We seen the airplane. So maybe it's something where the OG characters that had premonitions, their parents actually gets involved to help Stephanie somehow, some way, or bring up something previously that can help them. Now, pushing forward, I think it just will be cool because Death will have to catch up to them. Because why? Death has its original design, like Tony Todd will say. So I think, you know, even if you try to escape Death, you're going to have to face it one day. And I think that that's what Bloodlines can play into, because they still haven't fulfilled everything really. And people have this speculation where they think that Kimberly's still alive out in the Final Destination franchise, which I think she is, but that's just speculation and rumors. You know, we had that issue going on with the Final Destination 3 DVD that caused confusion about the newspaper article with her and Thomas Burke. So I think it would be crazy if this happens. So we know about, you know, everything with her original premonition being about the truck with the bed of logs on it, and she escapes, you know, death or whatever. Now, what if it's something, because we saw actually a hat tip to a truck with a bed of logs right there in the street or whatever in Final Destination Bloodlines, the trailer. So what if it's something at the end of this movie, Kimberly actually gets her original premonition? She doesn't escape death, where it's something where she actually gets took out by a truck with a bed of logs, kind of as a hat tip to Final Destination 2. I think that would be crazy, leaving the theaters where, yeah, you thought you escaped death, but we got you right here in the same way you're supposed to get took out on that highway. Because we do see that truck in the trailer, but I can be wrong. Also, it can be something like this, where, okay, all the people that Iris saved from that tower that was collapsing or whatever, that they actually were at every main incident that was taking place in the previous Final Destination movies, like some type of bloodline, some type of grandparent or something that actually, you know, connects to the characters in the Final Destination Bloodlines, that the kids we see at the barbecue, maybe it's something like that where they actually were at, you know, the previous events from Final Destination movies. Like Alex on a plane, it was a group of people that we didn't know, they were just in the background, but they got took out. Final Destination 2, Kimberly's on the highway. A lot of people get took out on the highway. Final Destination 3, amusement park. A lot of people got took out, but we also saw people in the background get took out. Final Destination 4 was a NASCAR track accident where a lot of people got took out. And we saw faces, but they weren't like main characters. And then Final Destination 5, we saw a bridge where a lot of people got took out. So Final Destination Bloodlines could somehow connect it to the people that's in Bloodlines, like the main characters at the barbecue. We see that Eric actually loses his dad from the, you know, the tattoo parlor scene, gets him tattooed, but it actually was something where he gets took out by the lawnmower. So maybe at that very moment when they're sitting down in like this living room and Stephanie's breaking down his family tree, and we see that Eric is actually related to Stephanie, I want to say, and Charlie. So what if it's something where she's helping her friends out, like, yes, our parents escaped death, now it's coming out to us. It's coming out to us. Or some of them actually have people that already passed on or something like that. That's how they escaped it. I know it sounds crazy, but Final Destination can get real deep, y'all. I think that it would be wild if the whole time we're looking at everything with the incident with Iris on a tower collapsing and shit like that, because you know it's a prequel to the 5 movies, so the one she saved, what if Death ended up catching up to them in the situations from the last 5 movies? We just didn't know them because they weren't Sam, Nick, Wendy, Kimberly, or Alex. It wasn't them, so it was like in the background, and maybe Final Destination Bloodlines can bring it up and they can all connect. That's why I've been saying it's all going to connect because of Bloodline. It's going to be somehow, some way with grandparents, parents. Long as Bloodline is involved, I think that's how everything's going to be pushed forward with this movie. Now, something that I've been seeing people ask is, okay, how did the grandmother Iris, you know, how did she escape death so long? How is she still surviving? We see that Tony Todd said something that was very interesting in the trailer, being that you have to embrace death and it can pass you by.
Only by embracing death will it pass you by.
And I think that it's something like, with that, we see that basically she's running off the tower or whatever. She's trying to get away and she survives out of this crazy accident. She just survives. And I think that with that keyword embracing, you know, and then you're saying embracing death, it's going to be something where I think she embraced death and she made it this far because of her actually embracing death. And we see something in the trailer that actually is mirroring that a little bit with this character named Eric, where at the end of the trailer, a truck actually zooms behind him, where if you look quickly, it looks like he's getting hit by the truck, but it's actually behind him. So maybe he's following the words of the man himself, William Bloodworth, and he's embracing death and it's passing him by. That's why people are confused when they saw like this trailer and with the tattoo parlor, and he's obviously going to survive the tattoo parlor scene, possibly because he has dad tattooed on his arm. And then when you see in the ending of the main trailer, he has a bandage on his arm from his tattoo, so it's showing that the tattoo parlor scene actually happens first. So the fact that he survived that chaotic ass scene with the nose ring, the fan, and the fire, he can survive anything. So I think it could be something where he's embracing death and it's passing him by. Maybe they'll finally catch up to him, but I mean, it's seeming like William Bloodworth is stating some real important rules in that trailer. Now, I think that's what it's going to be. I think that's kind of mirroring Iris. Like, that's what she did. She embraced it and she's still here. And that's what Eric might do. And because you got to think, William Bloodworth always said, you know, everything about death's original design. So you can't escape death. It's going to always catch up to you. It's a part of life. It's natural. Now, pushing forward with this, I want to talk about some old premonitions, being that we saw everything with the past premonitions, but they escaped them. A lot of them escaped them. So in the beginning, but it caught up to them. Death catches up to you. So what if it's something where these premonitions actually have to have things fulfill a certain way, a certain formula? I just speculated, what if Kimberly gets her original premonition at the end of Bloodlines, if she's in this movie and, you know, they have her canon with the bed of logs? So what if it's something where we get a plane premonition again, we get like a NASCAR track premonition, or not even all of them, just some of them, just certain ones picked out, because we've seen in the guideline book, from my knowledge, we only seen the truck and the plane, I want to say, and she has like this blueprint on how to survive these premonitions and escape death. So the fact that she actually has this whole blueprint on how to escape death and survive it, I'm pretty sure she understands what William Bloodworth was saying about embracing death so it can pass you by. And I think that maybe with this book, when she gives it to her, she gives it to her granddaughter Stephanie. Stephanie tells her friends the rules, the details after the barbecue situation when they're in that living room, and Eric takes it into mind like, I'm about to embrace this shit. I'm supposed to be took out anyways, and that's how he gets, you know, far in his film. I think it's a lot of stuff that's connecting back to the old ones, man. I think that when you sit here and think about it, it has to be that. All the way back to the 60s till now, it's all about bloodline, parents, grandparents, anyone that's related. That's how it's going to be connected. Or it could be something where the main characters are somehow connected to the new characters, Bloodline, because Bloodline goes far, and this is a huge time jump when you think about it, kind of. So it could be something where they're like related and it's still passing down to them, but I think it's mainly through the grandparents, like with Iris, and it's going to her grandkids and her family tree or whatever. And I think that the family tree goes far, being that it can possibly be connected back to the main characters in the first 5 films. films. So yeah, you all comment down below what you think about this. Do you think that Kimberly's still going to be canon in this timeline? Do you think she's not going to exist? What you think about her finally getting that premonition fulfilled? How do you feel about Eric's character when embracing death? Iris, in that crazy connection about the tire collapsing, and you know, the whole time it's actually the character's parents from the 5 films, and they're still out there, possibly in the Bloodlines film, and we see them get picked off because death has to catch up to them. Because why? Death's original design has to be, you know, out there. It has to. It has to be fulfilled. So I think that'll be crazy. Even with that theory about them being their parents from Bloodlines being at every, or bloodline or family or relatives being at each and every incident from the past 5 films. I think that'll be crazy, and they escaped death somehow. I think that will be crazy. Cause think about it like this, y'all. If their parents somehow were at the racetrack, the bridge, somehow they escaped death, and we don't know about it, but we get like flashbacks showing that they actually embraced it and they got along with life, but it still has to catch up to them now. That's why Eric's father finally gets took out in Bloodlines at the barbecue. I'm not gonna lie, y'all, that can be what it is. Like, could you imagine, like, okay, we know Stephanie's grandma is Iris, and Eric's dad, I think his name was Howard, but what about the other people, like the dude that was spraying a drink in there? What if his parents was like on that bridge with Sam, or on that plane? Like, well, they were on that plane, but they got off when Alex said, like, get off. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. It can get deep, y'all. Comment down below. Unfortunately, this is the end of this wild video. I want y'all to comment down below what y'all think about everything we just talked about. Let me know down in the comments. Smash the like button on your way out. Hit me up on all my social medias at ILIKESCARY on every social media platform. And I will see you all in the next one. Peace.